Hello everybody, my name is Raven. Today I'm going to be doing a video on how to bunny hop, as well as some other movement mechanics and tips for you. For not only beginners, but advanced, and I think even some experts will learn a thing or two. First off, the first thing you might notice is I have a keyboard overlay on screen. This is because I'm using OBS, so excuse the poor quality, but this is all I have. You'll see the basic keys like WASD, as well as a big blob of stuff next to the keys. This is my mouse movement. You'll see a little dot there in the middle of the bottom rectangle. That is the direction I'm moving my mouse, but you can already see that by what's on screen here. And then also above that is the scroll wheel. You'll see that light up whenever I use the scroll wheel. We'll get into this in just a second. So first of all, the general rule of bunny hopping is you usually want to have your jump bound to scroll wheel. You can have this as well as your spacebar, so don't worry, you don't need to unbind your spacebar. However, you can only have a mouse wheel down or a mouse wheel up as well. So I use mouse wheel down because that's what's most comfortable for me. I've been using that for years in many games. You might find mouse wheel up is more comfortable, so give that a try as well. But once you have that bound, it's pretty easy to bunny hop. This is technically bunny hopping, just holding down W and scroll wheeling. Although that is technically bunny hopping, that's not how you gain speed. You can actually gain up to a 10% speed boost by bunny hopping in this game. To gain the speed boost, we'll have to do something called air strafing. Air strafing is when you pretty much can turn the direction of your character mid-air and move in whatever direction you want. You might notice that if you hold W and look to the left, your character isn't moving to the left. This is because you're not air strafing. To air strafe, you can hold W and jump, press A, and move your mouse to the left. For right, same thing, move to the right, jump, move your mouse to the right. To know if you're doing this correctly, you can do it around a corner, and that is a pretty good telltale. Doing it around a corner looks exactly like this. If you turn the corner and you're against the wall the whole time, that's when you know you're doing it. If you just hold W once again and you try to turn the corner, you're not going to turn the corner. You can do something called W strafing, and that turns you around the corner, but we'll get into that later. That's a little bit more advanced. So once you know how to air strafe, once again, you can test this by doing it around a corner. Once you've practiced enough and you notice you can get around the corner just fine, then you can start putting it in your bunny hops. To put it in your bunny hops, all you gotta do is do it over and over and over. Left, right, left, right, left, right. You're not doing it around a corner, so your turns don't need to be super sharp. You kind of want to go in one direction here. So left, right, left, right, left, right. There are multiple ways to strafe within a bunny hop. For instance, you can do lots of small strafes, or you can do strafes like this. This is a more beginner way on how to do it. Left, or you pretty much change your directions once you jump, and that'll gain you speed as well. Once again, the ways how to bunny hop is you can do mini strafes. This is more advanced. You can do multiple strafes within a jump, and that'll gain you speed. Or you can do half strafes, or you can do full strafes. Any of these will work, but it's just whatever you feel more comfortable with, and depends how fancy you want to look as well. So now that you should know the basics of bunny hopping, I'd recommend just practicing that a bunch. Just practice over and over and over, and you'll get better and better and better. Now, once you're in game and you're bunny hopping, you might think, well, what's the point in this besides the 10% movement speed? Well, bunny hopping actually benefits you in many ways, and we're going to go over that. So my first example of this is this little area right here. If you want to go up to heaven, you can jump, jump. Sometimes you might hit this, that's a little bit weird. And jump again, and you get up. This is probably the fastest you can do it right here, just by doing that method. However, if you bunny hop and get some air strafes, this is pretty hard to master, but you'll get it down eventually. Just like that. You pretty much jump onto this box, air strafe to the right, and then back to the left. So you're not like running up against this lip at all. And then from there, you just jump onto heaven. And that's pretty easy that's not easy at all, actually, scratch that. You will master it, though, if you practice it lots. And it does save time, and it does benefit you within matches. So, as well as little movement tricks like this around the map, you can also use bunny hopping in combat. This will be very difficult at first because you won't know when to do it, and you don't know when to pull your knife out, especially if you're new to the game. But once you do master it, it is very, very useful. First example of combat, pull your op out and you get caught off guard. Right as someone is peeking, you're able to air strafe back and forth. This will allow you to dodge bullets very easily, and it'll pretty much prevent you from being a sitting duck trying to pull your op out right here. And it takes some time, so it's a very good way to stall. So you can do this while pretty much pulling out any gun. Although when you use your gun to bunny hop, you do move a lot slower. So these air strafes are very important to get down. So just try this, practice in place. You're pretty much doing figure eights. Try to go back and forth, back and forth. So you can use this to stall for stuff like using your gun or pulling out your gun, but you can also do this while coming out of your invincibility as Reyna, or invisibility as well. Very useful when coming out of your invincibility because while you're doing that, you are very, very exposed for at least a second. While you're coming out of your invincibility, just strafe back and forth, back and forth. They won't know when to shoot you because you're using your invincibility. You can even cancel it early, so it's very good for throwing them off. So like I said, the easiest way to strafe around a corner is to do that, the thing that I just taught you. However, there is something called a W strafe. So remember how I told you you can't really turn if you just use your mouse? Well, you kind of can. You just need to move your mouse a lot further. This isn't very beneficial, but I guess you can use it to gain speed. It's just really, really hard because you have to turn your mouse so much. So really not practical in many situations. So as well as being able to bunny hop forwards, you can also bunny hop backwards, but it's kind of the opposite. To bunny hop to the left, you move your mouse to the right and press the left button. For me, that's A. And that's how you air strafe backwards. You can practice this once again around corners, and that's a good way to practice it. To incorporate this into a bunny hop, once again, back, forth, back and forth. And you can do this backwards, which also means you can do this sideways, which this is very good for just showing off, dude. You can look real fancy doing this stuff, and it's honestly one of my favorite parts of the game. So going more in depth into the sideways, you hold whatever direction you want to go, A, so just think of A as forward, and then W and S as the side keys. If you want to go to the left, bunny hop to the left, you hold S and turn your mouse to the left. Once again, you can do this around corners. It's good practice. So once you get good at bunny hopping, both forwards, backwards, and sideways, you can end up just chaining them together, doing some really cool stuff with it. Just like that. I went forwards, backwards, and then I started doing it sideways just around this area. So next I'm going to show you something called a momentum switch. This will change you from bunny hopping in this direction, or this direction, so left or right, and it'll help you switch your momentum to either forward or backwards. And this can apply to any direction, switching any direction. First, I'm going to show you a momentum switch from sideways to backwards. It's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is bunny hop this way, and then press S and then D at the same time. For the other direction, if you're moving right, it's S and then A at the same time. This will switch your direction from going sideways to backwards. Once again, this is important for bunny hopping because you can be bunny hopping sideways and then hold those two buttons at the same time, and it'll switch your momentum completely. You can also do this forwards, I should say. So I'm editing in post right now, and I did say you could do the momentum shift in any direction, but I wasn't very clear on how to do it. If you want to go forward and momentum shift to the left, just hold forward, jump, and then press A and S at the same time. And opposite for the right side, hold W, S and D. Easy. So to put this into practice, right here, all I have to do is D and then W to switch going this way. I'll show you right here. And then easy. You can continue your bunny hops, strafe to gain speed, do whatever. You can do whatever from there. And one more thing to practice the momentum switch, just like air strafing, you can practice air strafing by going around a corner. You can practice momentum switching by moving up to a corner and momentum switching right before you hit the wall. Once again, jump forward, S and then D. This will peek you around the corner very easily. So that's the end of the video, guys. I was looking on YouTube for movement mechanic explanations, but there was really nothing on YouTube. Nothing but the absolutely bare bones b-hopping tutorials. So I know this video was a bit long, it's 11 minutes, but I did go into detail about some things, and I think maybe even the experts could have learned something here. If you guys have any comments, feel free to comment on Reddit or YouTube, and upvote it or like it, just so we can share this video with absolutely everybody we can, because I feel like these mechanics are pretty cool. I really enjoy movement in Valorant, and I hope you do too now. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.